All right. Good morning, guys. Chad, J. Ream, Kevin. Good morning, guys. David, Raphael, Josh, Robert, Marquise, Piff. What's going on, Piff? Barry. Breadman. Where's my Lambo money? If you took Facebook calls, maybe. Facebook needs to open above 200 today for the IV to not be crushed. Morning, guys. All right. So yesterday, mowers, I don't know where they're at today. It's a good question. So yesterday we didn't really do much. If it wasn't for Facebook, we wouldn't be up right now. So Facebook is creating a little bit of a upside move. So a little bit of an upside move due to Facebook. Let's see if that continues. And how do we know if that continues? We just need to look at the levels today, guys. So there are some very clear levels that need to break today to confirm any type of upside on the intraday move. We have the pre-market, the after-hours move to the upside because of some Facebook positivity. But we are rejecting key level right now on the Nasdaq, and we're at some key levels on the ES. So we need to make sure we're aware of these levels. These levels came into play yesterday again. We rejected more levels yesterday. We're still, honestly, as much as Facebook was a pretty decent move, we are really not making back much of anything here so far. So we're definitely a day to be a little bit cautious of the levels once again, which I would recommend you open up your charts. I would recommend you put down these levels with me, while I do them here on the live stream. So these are going to be important today because they are respecting. I mean, see this right here? I didn't make this level up this morning. This level's been on my screen for probably 2 weeks, a week. So, I mean, you just need to have these. Look, where did we reject this morning? It's right here at this green box. And I did not make this today. So, let's make sure we're aware of these. This is how we get an idea of if this market is strong. This is how we get an idea if there's momentum here, is if we start breaking through and holding these previous resistance levels and turning them into support. So let's do that today. We got another big day of earnings. We got jobless claims. I think we have... Do we have GDP today? Real gross domestic product. That's GDP. It looks different on the economic calendar, though. But yeah, GDP is today as well. So yeah, this is still a very questionable day. I would love to see a nice little risk-on upside move today, but I need to be aware of what's going on here. So let's go ahead and get started, guys. One thing that I want to say, actually, you know what? I'll say it maybe once we have a few more people in. I'm gonna start doing at the end. So if you guys stick around to the end of the live stream, at the end I'm going to review my trades of the previous day, something I want to try out. I got access to TradeZella. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. It's a journaling platform that Umar set up. I'm sure you guys know who that is. And I want to use it to display, my trades and sort of walk through them. So this was, this is it right here. This was my day yesterday. I just started doing it. Yesterday was the first day I tracked my trades in here. So I figured, why not at the end of the live stream, if you guys entice people to stay around a little bit, let's go ahead and review my trades from the day prior and really break them down. Win, lose, I don't care. I don't care if it's a winning day, if it's a losing day. It doesn't matter to me, guys. So we're gonna go through it all. So let's do that. Let's plan on doing that at the end of the live stream. So, all right. So today, futures as always, right? As always. TradeZella, you can't buy it monthly. You have to buy the year. So I think it's about $300, $400, I think, for the year. It's like $30 a month if you sort of do it by month. $30 just about. All right, so futures, as always, economic earnings calendar. Let's go ahead and pull that up right now. So here we go, guys. So today, jobless claims 8:30 and GDP, real gross domestic product. So this could be a little market moving today at 8:30. Let's see what happens. Tomorrow we got some more economic data on the calendar, and then as we know, the big boy next Wednesday is the big one, right? FOMC, Fed Chair Jerome Powell. This is going to be our rate hike information that will definitely move the market. So let's see what happens here. Probably a double rate hike. That's what I'm anticipating. That is next week, Wednesday. It really sucks that this is the day before I go to the F1 race in Miami. Thursday, Friday, or it's probably just actually. I think practice starts on Friday, but I'm going there on Thursday. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm going to have to worry about what what Jerome Powell's saying when I'm in Miami at the race. So it's unfortunate. But I'm going to try to zone it out, get all the risk off my portfolio as much as I can, and then just ignore what's going on for a little bit. Enjoy myself just a tad. So that's the economic calendar. Earnings calendar. Here we go. This is big. Today is pretty monstrous as well. Actually, this is probably your biggest day. Apple, Amazon after hours, guys. Apple, Amazon after hours. Really big Max fan and Lando. I like Max and Lando. Those are probably my top two. I do like to see Ferrari do well, though. I mean, I'm pretty happy to see that Ferrari is battling Max. I'm very happy that Mercedes is a pile of trash this year. So Apple, Amazon, Roku, Intel, Robinhood, all after hours. Very interesting. Apple and Amazon are going to be pretty monstrous. That's going to be interesting. This morning, Twitter. I'm actually very interested to see Twitter because of all the Elon news that's going on. So let's see what happens there on Twitter earnings. I don't know if they're out yet. I did not check. I'll check right after this. Caterpillar, Southwest, MasterCard, McDonald's, Merck, Lilly, Altria. ER is out. So that's the earnings we have, guys. So this is a big day. Apple, Amazon after hours. Roku should be interesting as well. What did Twitter say? Anything? There's a little pop. All right, here we go. So we got EPS, sales miss, expenses rose, Q1 operating loss of $128 million. So they're not making money. The profit was due to the gain on sale of Mopeb. I'm not even sure what that is. The monetizable daily active usage was up 15%. That's not too bad. U.S. monetizable daily active users was up 6.4%. So that's, I mean, at least those are up. That's usually the most important. So active users seem to be up. That's similar to what Facebook saw as well. So you can see a little bit of a move, nothing crazy. We'll see how that follows through. But all right, so Facebook relief rally. Let's talk about FB. Let's talk about, what it did. Let's talk about the chart. Let's talk about, do we think that there could be some risk on today because of Facebook? Possibly, but we need to also remember the levels on the overall market. Chip stocks today. Qualcomm reported earnings yesterday, and I think chip stocks, if this holds up, chip stocks could get a little bit of a pump off of Qualcomm earnings. We saw Nvidia moving up. I believe AMD is moving up this morning. So let's watch the chips today. Not saying that it's going to be a huge day for them, but if there is continuation, I think Qualcomm could help out the chip stocks today. AMD, TSM, Nvidia, and Qualcomm. So let's keep an eye on those. Some Tesla key levels to watch. XLE, XLF. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to put XLF. I meant to say XLE, XLP. So energy and consumer staples still holding up on their charts, still sort of consolidating, which could be a sign of more to come. Amazon, Microsoft, beautiful triple bottoms. Microsoft, right off that 270 level, had a very nice day yesterday because of their earnings. And Amazon also triple bottomed. So let's see what they do today off this, maybe some tech strength. Amazon, Microsoft, definitely two I'm watching. AbbVie, very nice hold of 155. This stock is incredible. It continues to hold up. It pulled back and is holding 155 very, very nicely. So let's take a look at that. Boeing, want to show you guys, Boeing had a really ugly day yesterday, but came right down to that 146 area that we were talking about in the pre-market live stream yesterday. Hit that support and bounced right off of it. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Then I will go into my trades, and then we will go into what you guys put on the Google Docs. So make sure to put your tickers on the Google Docs if you want to look at some stocks today with me. All right. Press the like button. Why not? Let's get started. So, I like looking at the Nasdaq right now on the hourly chart more than anything, guys. I think the hourly chart is a must-watch chart on the Nasdaq. And why is that? It's because it shows us the short-term pivot points. These are all pivot points here that need to start breaking to the upside. We need to start seeing some of this move up. We need to start seeing some breaks, right? You got to visualize this as we need to, like, these are like big weights on the market, and we need to start breaking above these weights, getting above these pivot points, getting above these levels. So right now I have three semi minor levels and then one just monster level up here. I mean, I'm gonna do it by the size of the zone. The size of the zone is the importance of the level, in my opinion. So this up here, this is where you can actually get some. This is where I think you can actually find some bullishness above 14.3. However, this level was a absolute you know what to get through. You can see right here, rejection, 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 multi-day rejection, and then that was where we slipped, right? Next, you have this previous low that turned into a resistance right here. Previous low right here, around 13.7, 13.8, turned into resistance. That has to be broken, right? Next one, you have this upside move around 13.570, 13.6. This level is a level I think we can see if we break this 13.340. 13.2, yeah, it broke, so I deleted it. But yeah, 13.2 is what this is right here. This is where yesterday was rejecting, right? Right? We had the 13.2 level, which was right around here, right? And that is where we broke yesterday. And that also extends to the previous lows here of Monday. So this was the 13.2 level that we had. I deleted it this morning because we broke it, but I guess we can keep it on there to see if it retests. But right here, guys, I'm going to zoom in, get this a little bit more clear. Right? This high, these highs right here, these little wick highs from Monday morning, you guys can see right here, these little wick highs from Monday morning, they are starting to reject here. I wouldn't expect this to be too strong of a level, but you can see the rejection that's coming in. I mean, this is just perfect, right? You can see the rejection that's coming in already at 13.350. So today, you need to get over that level. You need to break pre-market highs if you want to see upside today. All right? If you don't see a break of pre-market highs, we are not going up. That is a must break. No questions about it. All right? You need to break this 340, 350 right here. So now we broke above 13.2 yesterday, or actually it happened in the after hours because of Facebook. We didn't break above it intraday, and I'll show you that in a second. We're coming back to it right now. Do we retest, right? Do we do this? Or do we fall back under 13.2? That's today's question. So let me go ahead and zoom in. Let me go to the 5 minute. Let me get some more time here. So you can see right here, guys. I'm very surprised at how well these levels are working, to be quite honest. Look, 13.2, previous support, right? Turned into resistance right here. And what did it do yesterday? So I took a Netflix put yesterday, timed it absolutely beautifully, and we were talking in the chat saying, do not be careful buying calls before a break of 13.2. Right? Be careful of buying call options yesterday morning before a break of 13.2. Now, you guys can see that early morning yesterday, we got a push, right? We got that morning push, and where did we reject 13.2 and 13.2? Two times in a row, intraday yesterday, right? So, if I couldn't stress the importance enough of making sure these levels, they shouldn't be working this well. I know. I don't know. It's just the market's just sort of, this is what the market does. So, previous resistance, our previous support into resistance, right? And where did we reject yesterday? Intraday. This is where I took my Netflix puts, right? Because of the 13.2 rejection. We got through it here off Facebook earnings, right? We're through it now. What has to happen to stay bullish? What has to happen to stay bullish? We need to hold this level. if we do not hold 13.2 intraday today, you are going to see this slip back under. So you need to hold 13.2. You need to create a break, a retest, a little bit of consolidation, and then we can try to get our push again, right? So that is what I am watching today. It's very easy. Today's very easy. Why is today very easy? Because you just look at this range. This is all you watch today. If you get this, probably upside. If you get this, you're moving lower. So wait for that to show it to you. Don't trade in here. Do not trade in here. Wait for either wait for, you know, a test of 13.2 where you think it's going to start to hold. Maybe it starts to make some higher lows, higher highs, right? And then you try to play that bottom side support, or you get a move into 13,350 and you start to see lower highs, right? You see something like this and you start to see the rejection come in. So I'm like to play here or here. I do not like to play here. So this is what I'm watching today. I'm watching 13,350 and 13.2. And I need to see a hold of 13.2 to think that there is any type of strength on this market. And that is really it. I do not believe that you are going to see a 4% green day on the Nasdaq. That would be pretty astonishing. It's possible. A 4% green day would bring you up to 13,570, 13.6. If you broke 13,350 today, I would think that you could really quickly move to 13.6. But that would be a 4% green day. And that's quite a bit on the Nasdaq. So we'll see, guys. I'm definitely very aware of this rejection that's happening this morning. Very aware. That needs to be on the top of your watch, guys. The fact that we just rejected that level right there. All right. That's the Nasdaq. ES, very similar. Hourly chart on the ES, you can see we have some very clear levels here. We have 4,300 and we have 4,375, right? Right here, 4,375. And then we have the previous, which was 4,230, right? 4,230, which is what we are getting above, right? So now if we break this down to the 5-minute, we can see that the S&P is actually doing the retest as we speak. So yesterday, we had this 4,230 level. You can see we rejected it. You can see we rejected it. And now today, you have broken it off of the back of Facebook earnings, and you are coming back to retest it. So what does the ES have to do today? It needs to hold 4,230. It needs to hold yesterday's highs. If we do not hold yesterday's highs, you are coming back down. If you do not hold yesterday's highs, you are coming back down. Where can this go? I think you can definitely see a move to 4,300 if the market is strong. If the market is strong, I think you get a move to 4,300. I don't see any reason to why it wouldn't, right? This is just vertically down. There's no resistance here. So, it looks like it's rejecting off this little pivot right here, little peak from, this was from Monday, 4,250. That looks to be where it's rejecting. So you obviously need to see a break over that. And if you get that, I think you can get a move to 4,300. So 4,300, 4,250, 4,230. If you break under yesterday's highs, you're moving lower. Okay? Dow's just holding on to the 33, guys. I'm not going to cover too much time here, but you guys can see, look, Dow's just holding the 33 level we're watching. That's it. Just keep an eye on the Dow, holding 33,000. That needs to hold up. The Russell is just, on the line of, I don't know, what's a good analogy for this? It's on I don't know. I'm just going to say it's right there. I mean, it's right at that line. And if it does not get back above or find some strength here at 1,900, then you need to hold this 1,900 here, guys. This is huge on the Russell. All right? You can just see it. I don't need to say anything. That is a monster level at 19. Okay, that is the futures, guys. I hope that gives you some levels. They are very important today. Facebook. So Facebook expected move was $24.80, I think, which means that it needs to open above 200. It needs to open above 200 for call options to increase. I believe that is where you will need to see the stock open up above. If you get a slip under 200 here before open, you might get, those calls may still get IV crush. So you need to see a hold above 200 for calls, just to let everyone know that's in them. That is where you need to see this stock hold up to. You know, it was a decent quarter for Facebook. It wasn't fantastic. There were a lot of misses. There were some beats, but there were also quite a bit of misses. So I think most people are most focused on the monthly active users, but there was a sales miss and a pretty small EPS beat. Daily active users up 4%. So, and then on top of that, their guidance was a little bit light. Their guidance seemed a little bit light to me. Their guidance was below the the analyst consensus. So that's their Q2 guide was lower than expected. So, you know, I think it's just a little bit of since Facebook's down a ridiculous amount, that was probably good enough to get a little bit of a pop on that stock. Let's go to the 4-hour chart. I'm not buying Facebook stock because of this earnings. Let's just say that. You got to pop. You're really not breaking over anything major here. You're just sort of giving back the absolute destruction that you saw last week. That's really all you've gained back. You've gained back the destruction that started early last week, right? You guys remember the days where Facebook just died? That's basically all that you have given back or taken back. So until I see Facebook over this, until I see Facebook start moving into this gap, I am definitely not a buyer here until I start seeing some actual moves over 220, over 240, right? Until we start to break this downtrend, until we start to make some higher highs and higher lows, right? That's what I need to start seeing before I can be confident here. Maybe it gives the market a little bit of sympathy, right? Maybe it gives the market a little bit of pop, a little bit of bullishness. We'll see. But, yeah. Hey, man, haven't looked at your channel. Oh, wow. Welcome back, Gib. So, yeah, I mean, this is nothing that makes me too excited. I mean, it could definitely spark a little rally, but let's just be careful there, guys. I wouldn't buy Facebook until you see at least a push over 218. At least. At the very least, you want to see this pivot break here at 218. This is where remember those, look at these days on Facebook. Down 7%, down 7%, down 5%, down 7%. I mean, this thing dropped 21% in like 5 days, and you haven't even been able to make almost any of that back. So yeah, you've made back about 15% of it. So yeah, guys, let's just be a little bit careful there. I'm not really thinking that that's going to amount to much here, but if it does break over this high, then you probably can see a push to 217. Thank you, Kasim. As always, man, it's not necessary, but I really appreciate you contributing like that. That's awesome. Thank you so much. All right, chip stocks. So, Qualcomm. Qualcomm reported yesterday, right? We had some earnings from Qualcomm. If we go to the news, we can see EPS was a beat, and they also guided higher. So their EPS guidance was higher than estimate, and their sales guidance was significantly higher than estimate. So that's pretty good. They beat on top and bottom line. This is a good quarter for Qualcomm. Outlook blows past street estimates, beats top and bottom. You're getting some nice. I think you're getting some. Are you getting some price target increases yet today? No, no price target increases yet, but a nice beat and a nice guidance on Qualcomm, which is it's good to see for the chip sector. But again, guys, right? Again, what is the chart telling us? Right? What is the chart telling us? The chart is just telling us that it's still in a very tight downtrend, right? This is not, this move is not enough to make me change my mind here on this earning. So I know, chips have been weak. This is a good quarter for Qualcomm, so maybe it starts to wake this thing up. The safe place to get into Qualcomm to the upside is over 160s, right? Because look at this major support into major resistance. So if I see Qualcomm do something like this, then yeah, right? If I see Qualcomm do something like this, maybe I try to take it off 160 and then maybe try to play it to the upside. But the move is just not enough. It's just simply not enough at this point. Let's see what happens today. It might spark a little bit of bullishness in the chips, which I would not mind, right? If we spark a little bit of bullishness in the chip stocks, let's say we go to Nvidia. Nvidia's been holding this 180 level pretty nicely. Can we get a little bit of a push today on Nvidia? That 180 level is coming from here. You guys can see right here, previous lows, and Nvidia is trying to hold that low right here. So 180. The only problem I see with Nvidia now, guys, which is tough to be very bullish, is because you can catch a move up to maybe 210, but if you get this move, I would almost certainly expect a rejection here, right? I would almost certainly expect a rejection at 210, unless we are in May and we're on an extreme bull run, which, I can't predict. But if we start to see that, then maybe we can push that 210. But, this is a major level of support that will absolutely turn into resistance right here. So you might get a little bit of margin to the upside here, but please watch out for 210. If Qualcomm sparks the chips a little bit, maybe the Nvidia has a nice little day. But of course, guys, again, look at this hourly chart. Look at the trend, right? It's tough. It's tough. It's really not a chart that really speaks bullishness to me. So I need to still be very cautious. So that's Nvidia, AMD, another stock. I don't even need to look at this. Look at this downtrend AMD's on. Look at that. Just weakness. So is there maybe a spark on AMD? Maybe. But can you really get bullish here after this trend that AMD is on? You need to see something here. Right? You need to see something. Higher highs, higher lows, some kind of formation, some kind of bottom. Right? There's no bottoms. There's no nothing. So it's just too hard to, it's just too hard to get too bullish right now. I would love to see how do people listen to this crap. All right, buddy. See you later. I don't even know why you're here. All right. So, you guys can see we got this hold here around this 84. All right. 84. But the downside move just is really tough. So I'm going to stay cautious here on AMD. I'm just going to keep an eye on Qualcomm. Keep an eye on if the chip stocks heat up today. That's really what I'm going to keep an eye out for. All right, let's see. We got GDP numbers coming out. And that is not what the market likes to see, it seems like. Let's go ahead and pull that up. Hold on, guys. I want to pull up my Twitter account, and I don't want to share my login information, if that's okay with you. Delta 1. Where is Walter? So you got it up? There we go. All right. Okay. U.S. quarter one economy shrinks at 1.4% annual rate estimated, so it's shrinking faster than expected. Good. Jobless claims so pretty flat on jobless claims. So GDP not good, right? GDP not good. All right, here, guys. Quarter one economy shrinks at 1.4% annual rate, estimated 1%. Okay, so a little bit of a reaction off it, but nothing too major. Look at what we're doing right now. We're bouncing right off 13.2, so that's going to be huge there. 13.2. Look at that rejection right there, or that support that's trying to hold. All right, that's the chips. Let's go Tesla. Keep an eye on the futures for me, guys, if you see anything. Yeah, he probably just was bullish on Nvidia and maybe didn't like the reality of where the chart's at or something like that. It's most likely what it was. It's all right. So Tesla, you guys can see, we are trying to hold this little pivot point here. Right here around this 880. Right there. 880. So you guys can see previous resistance trying to turn into support. If we go to the 5-minute chart, you guys can see right here. Here is what Tesla has tried to do over the last 2 days. You guys can see right here. It is trying its best to hold up at this 880 level. 880, 880, and it continues to try to hold it. So what do I think Tesla can do? If Tesla drops under 880, here's your sort of your upper and lower bands here. 880 to the downside. If you crack 880, I think you go lower. And then if you break this little pivot high of 918, 920, I think maybe you get a little bit of a push to the upside. So I'm just watching this channel today on Tesla. You basically traded in the channel the last 2 days, which is not good for options. So please, they're most likely doing this on purpose. So they're probably keeping it pretty sideways here after a crap load of puts just banked. They probably don't want to see those go any further. So, a lot of puts here, a lot of money. They're probably chopping this thing, probably getting the premium out of these things. So just be careful here. Probably going to chop this around for a little bit. 920 and 880. 920, 880. Those are the levels I would watch today, depending on how that Nasdaq is today. Those are the upper and lower bands that I'm watching. If I had to show you one thing, it's the hourly chart, and it's looking like it's creating a little bit of a bear flag to me. So I'm just be cautious here. If the Nasdaq's weak, this could be creating a little bit of a bear flag here, guys. Right? You guys can see it's starting to creep higher. If it's weak and it breaks under 880, this will absolutely be a pretty quick move. So watch out for the 880 break today on Tesla, guys. If there is support down there again, maybe you can play it to the upside, right? If you see a move back to 880 and there is a little bit of support down there, let's say you do something like this, start to hold up, maybe there's a little bit of a push off of it, very possible. And then to the same exact concept to the upside. If you see an upside move and you start to reject, Nasdaq starts to get weak, then maybe there is a opportunity to the downside, right? So let's watch out for that. 920, 880, those are the levels that I'm watching today on Tesla. And I'm going to try to play off these levels, right? I'm going to try to play off these levels. Okay? So I want to go over XLE and XLP. So XLE, this is the energy sector, and it is still holding up, right, guys? So this is still a sector that's in focus, right? Still strong hold here. If we go to oil, the /CL, oil is still sort of in this little wedge. It's still sort of wedging here. So there is going to be a move on oil soon, guys, right? I don't know which way it is, but there absolutely will be a move on oil. It is either going to push up or it is going to break this 94 support. There is absolutely going to be a move on oil. It's not going to just do this forever, right? So usually off the back end of these wedges, however you want to draw it, there is big moves. That is similar to like what we saw with the Dow Jones. I don't know if you guys remember this. So this is the same concept as this move on the Dow. We were wedging on the Dow Jones right here, right? We were getting this little wedge, this little flag. This is the same look as oil, and then you get a big move, right? So this is basically the same thing. So I would expect there to be some oil volatility here momentarily. You know, I don't know how long it takes. It could take a few more days, a few more weeks. But depending on how that does is how this does, XLE. So if that oil starts to move to the upside again, the XLE could be a nice little opportunity. I would watch XLE maybe off this 50 SMA, and then I would watch stocks like CVX, XOM. They have pulled back recently. XOM actually had a nice little day off the 50. So I would still keep an eye on the energy sector. I think it's still holding in there. And then the next one I would continue to watch is the XLP, the consumer staples. Consumer staples are holding strong. They are still above the previous high. We are still holding the retest level of 78 on XLP. You guys can see that right there. Big volume, good holds, above the previous all-time high, and a pretty nice hold and a pretty nice retest level. So let's keep an eye on XLP. Those are stocks like Walmart, like Pepsi, like Coca-Cola, like Procter & Gamble, all these safety names. I know they're pulling back a little bit now, but just keep an eye on that XLP. I always like to stay involved with what sector is strong, what sector is not, right? I always want to know what sector is good, what sector is weak. XLV is healthcare. That's been losing some steam. XLK is tech. Obviously, we know what tech's been doing. So just keep an eye on those guys. All right. Microsoft. What did Microsoft do? All right. Microsoft held that triple bottom. So I'm going to keep an eye on Microsoft today. I'm not the biggest fan of trading Microsoft because it's typically a pretty slow mover on the option side of things. I'm more of a swing trader on Microsoft. I like to take swings, but I'm just not ready to take a swing trade in this market to the upside. I just don't see it on the Nasdaq yet. So I would watch out for this 290, guys, on Microsoft. This could be, if the market's weak, this could be a very nice downside play. This is sort of what I'm watching today. So you could see right here, we have some pretty major resistance here. Resistance, 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 resistance off earnings. And if there is weakness today, I could see this moving back down, right? So this is something I'm definitely watching today. Microsoft, if we start to show rejection off 290, you guys can see that right there, right? I don't need to say much more. Just playing the rejection on the upside with a good risk to reward, right? Because my risk is here and my reward is potentially here, right? So it's a pretty good risk reward on that side of things. But I need to wait for some Nasdaq weakness to come in. And I need to see the Nasdaq maybe break that 13.2. And then I can look to see if I can play this back to the downside. So watching Microsoft, watching the huge rejections here at 290 and then the 270 support. That is the channel that I would be watching, right? 290 to 270. Should make a big move in either direction over those levels. Amazon is the next one that is holding a triple bottom. You guys can see it right here. Now this, if Amazon's earnings are good, which I can't really predict for you, which I wish I could, but if Amazon earnings are good, this is going to be a huge bounce off of a triple bottom, right? If they somehow outbeat expectations by quite a bit, I don't know what happens. I'm just sort of hypothetically saying that. But if they do, this is going to look like one of the best triple bottom bounces you have ever seen. Very similar to like this bounce here. So this is a triple bottom on Amazon. Earnings are today, so I am a little bit careful of, I'm probably not going to play, I'm not going to play earnings, that's for sure. We'll see, can it hold this triple bottom? Can we get a little bit of a move after earnings to the upside, or do we get to the downside? And how do you know what's going to happen without losing money? You wait until after earnings, guys. Very easy. Get the earnings YOLO out of your mind. Wait for the earnings to come out. If the earnings does this, then you know it's dropping. If the earnings does this, then you know it's probably moving higher. So just wait for the continuation move, guys. The continuation moves are just as good as the earnings YOLO if you get it right. Sometimes the continuation moves are just as good. So I'm going to wait for the continuation move. If I see a move in either direction, either above this 2870 or below this 2700, then I will play the continuation. But I did want to point out the triple bottom. It's actually a very nice hold. And if we go to the 4-hour chart, we can see that it is definitely starting to put in some, it's starting to put in some bottom here, right? You can see right there. It's putting in a little bit of a bottom there around this 2700. Right here, and right there. So, yeah, you could trade a strangle if you want. I mean, if it stays within the expected move, then you lose, right? So what's the expected move? Expected move is $162. $162 on Amazon. So that is that's 920? 2920? Is that what that is? Let's just pretend that this is after hours. So, I mean, you would need a move. Probably, my guess is you're going to need to move above 3,000 or probably below, like, what is that? Like below 27 just about. No, further than that. Maybe like 2650s. You're going to need about a, what is the average? Hold on. 162. So you got 162 divided by 2763. It's about a 6% expected move right now on Amazon. About 6%. So if the stock stays within that 6%, then both calls and puts get obliterated. Okay. AbbVie. Daily chart. I actually really like this chart. The only problem I'm having with AbbVie is that healthcare is losing it, the XLV, but it doesn't seem to be worried about that too much. But you can see AbbVie is holding, AbbVie is holding this 155 level very nicely, as well as the 50 SMA on the daily chart. So, is this an opportunity, right? Everyone asks, like, when can I get into AbbVie, right? I get this question all the time. AbbVie, what do you think about AbbVie? It just keeps going up. This is where you take, or at least you think about taking your plays, right here, right? This is where you think about it. Because why? Why do you think about it here versus when it's back at all-time highs, right? So you can see you have a good risk reward, right? You maybe put a stop under 152. If you want to give it more time, you give it a stop under 150, and you have the potential upside if you think this can continue, right? So these are the areas where I would look for, those pullback opportunities, right? These are where you get your risk reward. You do not get risk reward buying the highs. You don't get risk reward buying the highs. You get risk reward on these dips with good risk reward stops, right? Maybe under 150 with the upside. Yeah, oh shoot, okay. I take everything I just said back. Earnings are tomorrow. So, sorry, that's my bad. Earnings are tomorrow. That throws a whole monkey wrench into the plan. But if earnings weren't tomorrow, you get the idea, right? If earnings were not tomorrow, you get the idea. You look for the pullbacks, the 50 SMA hold, the 155 hold. You take your good risk reward, right? If you're wrong, you're wrong. But at least you're not wrong at the highs. At least you have a good risk. You have a good place to stop out, a place that it will not, really affect you. You position size correctly, and you take your shot, right? You could also just buy shares. I absolutely agree. You could also just buy shares on the pullback. I like that a lot more. I like your thinking, right? So I like the thinking of buying the shares on the pullback. This is a nice little hold. I'm not gonna lie. The only problem I have here, guys, on AbbVie is this sector right here. This is the only problem I have. XLV is it's not doing too hot lately, which probably will bring AbbVie down a little bit more. If we see a move down to like 125 on XLV, then I would assume AbbVie probably comes down with it, because it's a pretty large weight of the XLV. That's my one and only concern for AbbVie. In the short term, of course. Short term, not long term. All right. Boeing. Yeah, I mean, Simon, they have a really difficult situation on their hands, right? They got inflation going up, GDP going down. I wouldn't want to be on the Fed. If they don't increase rates, then inflation keeps going, and maybe it hurts GDP more, right? What's more important? That is when I listen to. That is when I'll get my good information from good old Josh Answers. Shout out to the cult, because Josh admittedly is much better at the economics of the world than I am. I am more of a trader, more than economist. Josh is a fantastic economist. I really am impressed by what he knows about the inner workings of what the Fed does and all of that. So that's really where I'll learn as much as I can from him. All right. Anyways, so Boeing, you guys can see right here, Boeing pulled back right to our level, guys. Right? We talked about, okay, Boeing probably has room down to 143. I think that 143 is where Boeing can come to. We can see we got a very nice pullback to that 143 area. So does Boeing hold here? I think you can see a hold here on BA. I think you can definitely see a hold here on BA at 143 for sure. You guys can see that BA has a very nice little area right here. If I can get it. I hate the 4-hour chart on Thinkorswim, man. I want more time. It won't give me more time. Let me go daily. Here's daily. It's still not giving me enough time. Let me get more time. Here we go. All right. Now we can see it a little bit better here. So you can see, guys, right? You have this support at 145, 143, right in that area where we've bottomed yesterday. And you can see, look at the reaction off of it, right? So I think you could probably see some support here, right? Look at this. You could probably see some support here at this 146 area. You might be able to see a little bit of upside. But just, I'd probably want to see maybe another retest or, just something a little bit stronger before just jumping in on day two. I don't think you buy it day two. But, I would just watch this 143 area, guys. This could be a nice little area to play BA off of. That's what I would watch. So watch that, guys. BA, 143 area, 145 area. Let's keep an eye on that. All right. Let's go ahead and go over my trades from yesterday. Let's do it. I think this will be fun. I think it's something different. So let's go ahead and go over my trades. If you guys want to take 1 second and press the like button, that would be fantastic. Subscribe to the channel. We're almost at 45,000 subs. If you guys could help me out, get to 45,000. We are, oh wow, we're only 7 away. 7 away, guys. 7 away, 45,000. That would be great. 7 of you aren't subbed. I'd appreciate if you want to stick around, press the sub button. All right, so this is my trade. This is TradeZella. My day yesterday was $91. I had 2 trades, so 137 winner, $45 loser. You guys can see right here. Win 1-1. This was the first day that I used this platform. So this was yesterday, $91. Took 2 trades, commissions $423, and here were my 2 trades. So the first trade was a loser on Roku, guys. And I took a put option. I took the $429 $75 put. Took it small because I just didn't really trust Roku too much. And I took it here around this $89.50 level. This was my entry right here, where that little green box is. This is where I got in on my puts. Now, why did I get in puts there, guys? Well, I actually talked about this on the live stream. So I got in puts there at $89.50 because I was looking for the pre-market rejection. I was looking for the pre-market rejection. Let me go 1 minute. I think it looks better on the 1. It looks better on the 1, in my opinion. And I was looking for this rejection right here. And it started to get the rejection at $89.50. This was pre-market, a pre-market level here that I was looking for Roku to do this. I was looking for this, and then this, right? And I got in just a little bit too early. I think I got in on this red candle looking for it to start to reject, and I just got in a little bit too early. I had my stop over this green box. It went right over it, and I stopped out. Easy as that. Idea was absolutely right. You can see what happened later in the day. I was just early to it. So you can see I got in here. It ended up going to around 891. And it ended up, I mean, if I just closed my eyes and hoped and wished, then I would have made money. But that is not how you trade, right? That is not how you trade. So that worked out nicely. Had to stop out there for a small loser. Ended up sort of going up into these levels, which is maybe where I should have sort of used as a guide right here. This is where I should have taken it, right? This was the right rejection, not here. So that was my first trade, my first loser of the day. Kept it small so that I can come back, and I did. Next trade was the sickest Netflix trade. I loved this trade. This was awesome. And shout out to the guys in the group. We caught this thing awesome, just sick. So I got a put option basically at high a day on Netflix. And why did I do that? I got about 60% on this trade to about a 3.4R. So a good risk reward on Netflix for sure. About a 3.4. And I got about $137 on it. Scaled down because, again, I said in the chat, I don't trust Netflix. I just don't. With how volatile it's been, I've been a little bit careful. Now, where did I get in? Why did I get into Netflix? Right here, guys. We talked about this in the pre-market live stream. This trade is straight from the pre-market live stream. So right here, I got into Netflix off 200 rejection. Right here, previous rejection, previous support. I got in puts right at 951. So 951 was right on this candle. So we basically caught the high and we just rode this thing out. Just rode it out, continued to hold the 9 EMA, and just continued to sort of just profit along the way. So that was my day yesterday, guys. Nice trade, good stop on my loser, and I made about 91 bucks. Not a very impressive day. Hopefully, I'll be able to scale up into some of this stuff. Yes, it does. You can automatically connect it, or you can manually do it. I manually did this one because it's the same day. So I like to share my trades same day. So I need to sort of manually do it, but I'll also connect. You can also connect it automatically, which I'll do as well. But if I want to get it in same day, I need to manually put them in. But I mean, yeah, if I automatically connect it, it's the same thing. I just have to wait an entire next day to get it in there. So that's TradeZilla. Trade log, I think that's pretty cool. They have that. Reports, so you get a whole report of what I did. So we'll continue to update you guys on this. I like this platform quite a bit. All right. So next, let's go over what you guys want to look at. Let's go ahead and jump into Apple, AAL. We did Facebook already. Apple, AAL, Bank of America, and WRK. So let's go ahead and look at Apple, guys. Apple has earnings today. NQ dropping hard. I'm going to look at it. Is it actually dropping hard? Yeah, all right. It's dropping. Yeah, it's dropping. It's not dropping like crazy, but it's dropping. I got you. I always mess around because I get messages all day. I get messages all day that like people say like on this candle, they're like, holy shit, Nasdaq's getting killed. And then you zoom out and it's this. So I always take it with a grain of salt when I see people saying something's tanking. But yeah, all right. Yeah, it's a pretty nice drop under 13 too. Apple. So Apple has earnings today, guys. I really can't do much to help you here on Apple. If it does have a pullback on earnings, it's $7. I think it comes right to the 150s. I don't think it breaks 150 on earnings. If it has bad earnings, I think you come down to 150, and that's where the sell-off will hold. And then if you get the upside, I mean, maybe you get up to like the 160s, 165s. I don't think it's going to beat the expected move by much, if any, which is around $7. And at that point, this move's almost irrelevant to the upside. I mean, you need like 180s really. So I would just wait, guys. Just wait. Wait for the earnings to pass. Don't worry about it. Don't look at Apple today. Go on to the next stock. Just wait for the earnings to pass. AAL. I actually sort of like that AAL is holding this previous high as some type of support right in here. This is what I was looking at. So you guys can see you got a little break and retest and also a hold of the downtrend, right? You have a break, a retest, hold of downtrend right here around 18. It needs to hold 18. Has to hold 18. So I would look to see if AAL can hold 18. That's a must. And see if that continuation can go on the airline sector. Bank of America. Yeah, I don't like I don't like banks. Banks still are proving to be just a really crappy sector still. I mean, banks just cannot get a break, man. Banks just do nothing basically. So I'm not a big guy in the bank sector, guys. I really don't watch the bank sector much. I just think it's a waste of my time. I just don't see any moves happen really here. If you break 35 on the XLF right here, then the banks are going to keep going lower. Bank of America breaking down substantially. JP Morgan, really ugly on JPM. Goldman Sachs, ugly. Citibank, ugly. Morgan Stanley, ugly. I mean, these could be this could be breaking down a major level here. This could really have some downside. So this looks no better than tech. Right? This is something I talked about on the live stream about 2 weeks ago. People buy banks to like hedge their portfolios. It's not doing anything for you. It's doubling your losses. Right? Banks have done nothing for you really. It's basically following the market. So it's not even much of a hedge to the overall market. I mean, it's down less, but it's not really doing much for you. Maybe besides dividends. I'm not a big bank. I'm not a big investor in banks. I don't know why. I just don't see it. Next and last but not least, WestRock. I have no idea what this company is, to be honest. Materials. Yeah, material name. So materials have been strong. We know that. You can see that it is above this 48. This is what I'd be watching. Break and retest the 48. Right here. Break and retest the 48 on this. It looks like we already looked at this stock. Did I just do this? No. I think we already looked at this stock. So right here. 1, 2, 3. Rejection, rejection, rejection. You break through. You pull back. If you hold it, I look for upside off this 48. Break and retest. All right. We already did Netflix. Sorry. I mean, I'll look at it again real quick. If you want to see Netflix to the downside, guys, what is it? It's the same thing. This is the last time I'm going to look at this stock. It's the same exact thing every day. The stair steps to the downside, right? If Netflix pushes into 194 and rejects, you buy puts, right? It's very easy. Look at these levels, guys. Look at the stair stepping pattern. It's very easy. Rejection. Stair step, rejection, stair step, rejection, stair step, rejection. If you stair step down, you need to reject again, and you need to sell this thing off. Until it breaks one of these levels, until it does something like this, right, then Netflix is going to continue to go lower. Until you get that. All right? That's all I got, guys. Thank you for being here. Press the like button, subscribe to the channel. Did we get to 45,000? Hey, thank you guys. Appreciate you. 45,000 subs. I really appreciate that. That's awesome. It definitely is motivating. Just go rewind, Kabir. Nasdaq, if you go to the beginning, once I shut this live stream down, you can watch the entire thing. You'll see it. You'll hear everything I said. I appreciate that. I'm not even sure what currency that is, but I'm sure that is a pretty... What currency is that, guys? But Kabir, you can go right back. This whole live stream will be available right when I end it. You can go back and rewatch it at your leisure. So thank you guys so much. Really appreciate the support. It definitely keeps me going. This is a lot to do every single morning. It's like I have a real job. I got away from my corporate job to maybe I thought in my mind to like sort of do what I wanted to. Which I am doing what I want. So that's good. But I basically have a job, which I like. I mean, it keeps me going, which is something that I actually enjoy to do. So if you got a job and you enjoy what you do, then that's where you find happiness from. So thank you guys so much. Appreciate you. It's rupees, Indian rupees. Okay, the ruble. All right. Well, I got some ruble or rupee. Isn't a ruble the Russian currency? I'm not very cultured on currencies, guys. So don't roast me in the comments. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I will see you in the Discord chat if you are there. If not, I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace out. Have a good day.